We didn't come from money at all. We lived a very impoverished life. We had been homeless several times. I was married before, and I got divorced. And once I got divorced, it was just like I let loose, and I was just a party animal. He was abusive, and yeah, I wasn't allowed to have friends or go to work.
3 months is crazy. I literally was only here for 3 months, and God said, hey, y'all, this was already destined for a 25 plus journey with grandkids. And it only took 3 months now to think about it.
For us, it got real ugly. Yeah. There were a lot of nights where we stayed up late, holes in walls, and a lot of words said, hurtful words.
You stopped caring. You started shutting down, and I felt that. That was a scary place. Like, what happened? I was a very passionately angry person.
In the beginning, it was rough, man. We had to have our own office separate from everybody because we would actually sit and argue. No matter what I said, no matter what communication style I tried, it was a fight to be heard.
The entitled spirit I didn't know I had. This is the one that hurts to say, because a long time I thought I was grinding, I was growing, but I had an entitlement spirit, which I believe is the real root of a lot of our issues in business. And, you know, I remember like understanding what it is. And I remember having a conversation with our son-in-law and sharing with him what the entitlement spirit was, and just watching how it like woke him up, because it had a name. He understood that there was an issue at home with him and our daughter and with, you know, coming home from work. But then when we were able to give it a name, it like woke him up to understand. I think that was the first step in growth, is being able to identify what this is. And so, you know, the entitlement spirit, man, it's a blanket of pride over everything, man. It's like, it's a total smokescreen of, and I use the word smoke from the book Builder of All Things, because you don't even know like if you're going down the right or wrong path. Like you're just kind of operating blind, and you don't even know it. You think you're in the right direction, but you might not be. It's like driving a car with fog outside and your windshield has got mist on it and you don't see anything. You're just driving. How scary is that? And you think you know where you're going. So being entitled in the tradesman world, men out there going to work, and women too, you know, can go out and just feel like they're earning a right and have a expectation that they set. That's what entitlement is like you got this expectation that comes with, it's like this conditional growth of believing you've earned or owed something, you know. And when I would go out to work in the morning for you, for the kids, I would sweat for 8 hours, 9 hours, drive in traffic for 3 or 4 hours, and put in hard labor. And I'm building this up because this is how I feel, right, in those times. And so when I do that all day, then I come home, I have this expectation that I expect from the kids, from you, like understanding what I went through, whether I was getting yelled at by the foreman or I got hurt that day or whatever it is. And then I feel like there's an expectation on me when I come home, and it just creates immediate conflict because I got this entitlement spirit, like I'm owed something, you know. I'm owed a, how was your day? I'm owed a, man, I know you're out there grinding and killing it for us, you know, like I feel like I'm owed a hug. I feel like I'm owed a dinner. I feel like I'm owed a massage. I feel like I'm owed like time to sit there for 4 hours and just decompress and go to sleep and do it again. You know, I'm owed that, you know, and that was a cancer, you know, to any person out there, because what it does is it disconnects everything that you and the kids went through all day, right?
Or devalues. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. And so that entitlement spirit, I would come home and explain what you felt, in your side and what you're experiencing all day. What are you feeling and felt to kind of speak into that spirit when I had it, in the season I had it?
Well, for me, because of almost our entire relationship and marriage, I've been working a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
So having to go to work myself and deal with all the things that I had to deal with at work, and then still come home and have to worry about the house being clean. Okay, I got to prepare dinner. Oh, the kids got to get showered. Oh, I got to make sure they do their homework. I got to get them ready for school the next day, because I would have to leave at 5:00 in the morning to drop them off with my sister. There's just so many things. So when you would come home and you'd walk in the door, and I'm like, the kids are all driving me insane. I'm just like overstimulated. I'm an introvert.
Yep.
So all of these things is just driving, my wires are going haywire, and then you walk in the door coming home from work, and I get it. I get it. You want to be greeted, but at the same time, I'm just so overwhelmed, that I can't give you, or in that moment in my youth, in my younger days, I couldn't stop and just, I think it's a little selfish,
It's
right?
very, very selfish. Yeah. It's very self-centered.
Because I'm just like, we're stuck inside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We're stuck inside of ourselves and our perspective. And, so I just be like, well, you want me to just say hello to you? Like, you don't even want to know about my day, So now finally nearing 50 years old, I can actually say that I'm at the point where I can stop and say, hi, honey, how was your day?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, honey, how are you doing? Was work good? But yeah, that's definitely where it was. It was just so much going on. It was just the both of us, just so stuck inside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm. It really was a renewing of the mind to say, like, number one, recognizing that I'm kind of self-centered in this, right? This entitlement spirit, like I'm owed something or deserve anything, to just say and really look at God and his message and his story to say, man, we're actually flesh sinners. We don't deserve anything. And that's what his mercy is saying, man, y'all don't, or his grace is to know we don't deserve anything. And at the end of the day, be thankful that you even can work, man. Be thankful that you can get up and go to work and have legs. There's people out there that don't even have legs, and there's people out there in a hospital bed, that are suffering from cancer or, a bad case of diabetes. There's people that, just suffering child death, and here you are, your kids are at home, and just not to be so dramatic and take it to that level, but it's like, we don't deserve anything, and everything, every breath, we should look at it with a thankful heart and being in a posture or position to know that, as a husband, as a father, as a grandfather, a papa, like, how can I serve you guys, And so that's the perspective shift I had to have. And I tell myself, like, how can I serve you? How can I serve the kids? How can I serve the grandkids as best as I can with the energy I have, and how to balance it as well too, and not burn myself out. But what I've learned, and I think you've respected, is like, how do you transition? I think that's the main advice I would give to anybody out there. There's a transitional point of coming home from work and everyone's at home. That moment is key on how you handle it. That changes the atmosphere and the temperature for the rest of the night. And so, when you go through that door, I think you have to prepare yourself and not still be on the overload of stress and momentum and work and traffic and all the stuff you're going. You have to pause and breathe and transition your mind. And I think your partner, both sides, need to have a respectful transition point, because as soon as I come home, I believe you are looking at me like almost a savior. Oh my gosh, I can get a break. Like, he's here to help, or he's here to, like I'm in the middle of this. Maybe he can jump in on it because you're in the middle of work mode. You know what I mean? Like
you're walking into my work
yeah.
mode. Yeah.
And so there's like, I'm almost like a savior in your eyes where I'm coming home and I'm thinking this is my rest moment. Like this is the moment where I get to rest. And so, or decompress a bit to get out of work mode. So I believe we found a healthy like space where you allow me at least 30 minutes or so to decompress before you really engage in how I can help you. And it allows me to kind of let go of what I just came from and then position myself in servant mode, how I can serve you. And I think that's a very important tool for anybody to have is allow a 30, I don't know if 30 minutes is the key, but enough where space where you can have a transition. It's the immediate walk through that door that's the challenge. If you don't have that space.
Can I add something? I believe a lot of women go through this when their husband is walking through the door. Like I said, you're walking into my workspace, which means that I'm still in the chaos. We're
Yes.
still in the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So it's common for us to just be like, a little reactive because we're in that pressure, in that moment. But like you said, giving each other that space. So that time that you need, I'm also going to need to adjust to the fact that, hey, my husband's here.
Mm-hmm.
I need to start chilling out. He's here. He is going to help me. And to have that faith and that trust that, hey, my husband is here. He's gonna partner with me and help me with this chaos.
Yeah. And then to just add that it's both of our responsibilities to steward that 30 minutes. So like I was talking to our son-in-law, like if you guys come up with that agreement of like 30 minutes of decompression time or just transition time, that you can't dishonor it and then go into 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, like that's not going to work. But if your wife or your partner or your husband and you guys come in this agreement to give each other this decompression transition time, you need to honor that and really take the time to let go and get your heart ready in servant mode, because that is your job and responsibility as the person coming home to do whatever you need to do to help your partner. So because it's an ongoing thing, right? Whenever you do get rest, just enjoy it, because those times are great, but the rest of this, man, is work. I think a lot of people out there's a lot of chaos they see on the media and the news. There's wars, there's craziness with just our government, there's people out in the streets, in the midst of all this chaos and the storm is what I call it. Like, what do you want to say to them right now?
I want to say, if you don't know Jesus, get to know him. Because at the end of all of this, that's what's really going to matter. It can be really frightening with everything going on in the world, from the riots to the wars. But for myself, I have a peace knowing that I know the peacekeeper. I know where I'm going to go at the end of all of this. And that's what keeps me from wigging out. And, because it's easy, because I've actually gone and bought like all kinds of survival equipment and things like that. But that also helps me because my plan is to have a little container with a note and a Bible, because if I'm going with Jesus, if there's any of my loved ones or anyone else who can make use of that stuff, that's my plan, is to pass that on. Yeah.
So somebody watching right now is like, man, Jesus, everyone just says that. Like, what does that mean? Like, have Jesus.
To know him, to love him, to walk with him. I'm saying, if you can fall in love with Jesus and have that peace, I don't know, but I all I know is I am more in love with him right now, today, than I've ever been. And he is my first. He's the one who I run to when you and I are having fights. He's the one who I run to when we don't know when our next, payments are coming in. He's the one who I run to. When I'm having problems with our adult children and their families. He's the one that I run to. He's my everything. He is my everything. And I don't want to have a life without him. I wouldn't want to experience life without him. Yeah.
Presence or purpose? His presence or his purpose for your life? What's more valuable?
His presence.
Let's go.